of course, in the live letter, they spoke about Beastmaster, and this, of course, will probably once again spark the discussion about limited jobs and, whether limited jobs are a good thing or a bad thing. Of course, it's kind of a controversial topic, or has been ever since they added Blue Mage back in Stormblood. Well, I'll put my opinions on it later. So, I would say the first thing I have to say on specifically Beastmaster, Beastmaster will be level 50 to start out with. In my opinion, this is a massive L. I don't know why, we waited 2 years. They announced this thing in 2024. We waited 2 years for this limited job, and it's only gonna be level 50. To me, that's just a bit strange. But they did show some interesting things about it. So, for example, similar to Blue Mage, we have this log here. It's pretty interesting. Apparently, you can bring like your minion with you. Also, it's gonna be like a proper like pet-based job. And I don't know what this means exactly, but I guess it suggests maybe it works a bit like Old Scholar, Old Summoner, where you will have a hotbar where you control their actions. So it's basically just a different flavor, but I guess it's gonna be interesting to see if the pet AI has improved since then, or if it's gonna be really janky. I guess we'll find out.
I severely doubt that they're gonna re-implement the pet hotbar. I think it's gonna be more like the summoner hotbars are currently.
Yeah, it could be. They didn't give too many details because they said they'll show the gameplay during the next live letter. Yeah, so they also showed this thing, so I guess this is like an equivalent to Blue Mages, the carnival thing. So you can do like solo content. It's probably gonna be similar to Blue Mage, like it's just a little bit of fun, but you do it pretty fast. So I don't have too many expectations for this, but who knows, maybe it could be fun. But yeah, like I said, in my opinion, the main L is the fact that it's level 50. I think that's a mistake. But maybe they'll make it so that it levels really fast through the next expansion, like 10 levels every patch. Maybe. I also wanted to note on the weapon of choice. I myself was expecting a whip, because historically Beastmaster had a whip. But I don't know, maybe they were worried about too many like degenerates like ERPing in the community. I don't know. But an axe is okay, I guess. My own idea for Beastmaster was that it would kind of be a similar thing as, if, for those of you who have played FF13 2, a similar system where you can kind of customize the pet and give it like different abilities and level it up and etc. I guess a bit similar to how the Chocobo works. So that was kind of my own like idea in the past. But I guess we'll see how they implement it. But yeah, overall it looks solid. Unfortunately, they also said there would be no update to Blue Mage, so Blue Mage will still remain level 80, which is a bit unfortunate, but I guess I don't think many people care about that, to be honest. But for me, as someone who's done Blue Mage since it came out, like bro, we did the coils. Like we went to fight Nail Deus Darnus with Blue Mages when that came out, which was really awful, and Bahamut. But yeah, like for me, it's a bit of a shame. So regarding limited jobs, I myself have some opinions on it as well. I like them in principle because, especially as we have seen since basically Shadowbringers with the very homogenized job design, it is kind of fun that you have these jobs that function a bit differently from the others. You know, I do feel like if, for example, Blue Mage was a regular job, it would probably play very similar to something like, I don't know, Red Mage, and it wouldn't be that unique. So of course it's one solution to have a job that exists outside of that, and you say like, okay, well, it just cannot do current content, but we make it interesting, we make it flavorful. It's a good concept in theory, and I do have liked Blue Mage overall, but I do have some gripes with its execution. So first of all, in my opinion, the main mistake is that it cannot access all the previous content, and this, in my opinion, kind of defeats the purpose. You know, if the whole point is that it's supposed to be really overpowered and really fun in old content, then it should be able to do all of the old content, in my opinion. So, for example, when level 60 Blue Mage came out, I thought you'd be able to do Palace of the Dead. Well, you can't. Then when level 70 Blue Mage came out, I thought you could do Eureka and Heaven on High and Ultimates. Well, you can't. Same thing with level 80. So it's just very restricted for whatever reason. I feel like the reason for it is that they fear that these old accomplishments would become less relevant, you know, if you could just overpower them with Blue Mage. But in my opinion, it's a bit silly because you can just make the rewards separate. For example, you know, I myself have the Necromancer title, well, actually all three of the like solo deep dungeons. So of course someone might say, oh well, what if you can do Palace solo with Blue Mage, and then Necromancer becomes really easy to get. But in my opinion, this is not a major concern because you can legit just make it so that you only get the title if you play a regular job. And in fact, what you can do is you can do something interesting, which is that instead of getting the Necromancer title, you get like a Blue Mage specific title, or like Beastmaster, like limited job specific title. So you can kind of like separate it. Same thing with Ultimates. In fact, what you can do with Ultimates is you could even do something like, oh, you have to first clear the fight with a regular job, and only then can you enter with 8 Blue Mages if all of you have cleared it, or something like that. And then you receive like a cane that looks like the other weapons, which I'm not a developer, but I feel like this would be very little effort because they already have like the particle, like the glow effect. So you just slap that onto like an existing Blue Mage cane or something, right? And it's kind of like, yeah, you just get a fun little thing for doing it, but it doesn't defeat the original challenge. Yeah, same thing with something like relic content. Like, yeah, sure, it might make the relic a bit easier to get, but I don't know if you guys have been to Eureka, for example. I can tell you that they really nerfed the crap out of that content since then, which is, in my opinion, a good thing, especially with something like Pagos, because it was just god-awful. So I do feel like this would just revitalize that old content. Yeah, so that's the first thing. I don't understand why it's restricted. Second thing is that, in my opinion, these limited jobs should actually become current level at the very end of the expansion. This may be a bit of a hot take, but say, for example, at the end of Dawn Trail, that Blue Mage becomes level 100 for like the last few weeks or like last month or something. And, you know, you could just smash the Savage tier and whatever. Maybe this is a bit controversial, but in my opinion, like at this point, you know, you have the Echo, everyone has Bis, you know, like it's not really a... How would I say it? I may risk sounding a bit elitist, but in my opinion, the main achievement is to clear it early on, like the first few weeks anyway. I feel like after the tier has been out for almost a year, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion, whether it just becomes like even easier. It's just, the idea would just be, let's just people have fun at the end of the expansion, you know, by just breaking it with Blue Mage. I don't know, maybe that's a hot take, but that's my suggestion. But at the very least, it should always be 10 levels behind at all times, which in my opinion is a big L right now. That, for example, Beastmaster is only gonna be level 50 when the maximum is 100. Blue Mage is only level 80 when the maximum is 100. It should be minimum 90. So, and specifically with Blue Mage, I would add one more gripe. In my opinion, the last few patches for Blue Mage have been a bit more tame. I kind of wish the spells would go back to being more spicy. Like, you know, some of those original spells like Self-Destruct or Final Sting or Diamondback, you know, just spells that really either like are very different gameplay-wise or just break things a bit, just make things spicy. I feel like more recently they mainly just been adding abilities that are kind of like, oh, here's another damaging of global. It's not very interesting in my opinion. So that in a nutshell is my opinion on limited jobs. I understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea, but me personally, I like them. I just wish the execution was a bit better.